Hey guys, welcome to the Part-Time Farmer. I'm Jason, this is Finley, and today we're going to talk about can you make money raising chickens. We'll talk about that while we're actually moving baby chickens out of the brooder and out onto pasture. We've got 100 of those and we have to separate them from the 50 turkeys that we have. And then we're also going to move some cattle over from one pasture to the other. And then at the end of this video, we'll tie everything up about whether you can make money raising chickens or not. All right, let's get into it. Just wanted to stop and show you real quick these chicken crates. These are Pasture crates. We ordered them online. It's probably been 5 years ago. I don't know that they still sell anything in small bundles right now, but what you can do is look around on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times chicken hatcheries just go out of business, or chicken farms, and these crates, you'll find them just popping up every now and then. We paid, and this is about 5 years ago, about 50 to 60 bucks each for these crates. Buying them now brand new, you're probably looking at 170 to 100 bucks brand new. For that reason, look online, see if you can find them on there somewhere. Another place would be to go on Facebook groups and ask around in some of the chicken forums. Just, hey, where can I find chicken crates? Where's a good place to find cheap chicken crates? And that'll help you save some money, but get these crates if you need them. They're really good for if you're gonna take chickens to the processor. They're also great for taking baby chicks out of the brooder and taking them down to the pasture. All right guys, we're here at the brooder. We've got the tractor pulled up. We've got our crates here on the ground, and what we're gonna do is basically just separate them. We've got a crate inside. We're gonna catch turkeys, put those guys in the crate, leave in there. We're gonna catch the broilers, and they will go right here on the tractor bucket that's right up to the brooder. And as a crate fills up, I can move that over, put another crate on, and then we can easily take them down to their new home. All right, you ready, Finn?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. One thing you'll notice is we're just kind of going slow, taking our time, trying not to stress the birds. They're obviously stressed out back there, but they're going to a new home, and then they're going to be totally happy. We're going to have grass, bugs, and all the good stuff. It's a little challenging at this age telling the difference. The turkey is on this side, and you can see it has a little nodule on top, and neck is a little bit longer. The broiler is right here, trying to eat my finger, and you can tell they don't have the nodule. They have more of a comb, and that's how we tell them apart. Cute little guys. Open this one up. All right, guys. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Turkeys have settled down. You can see behind the turkeys are a little stressed. That's okay. We're gonna get out of here, get them some more food. They're gonna have so much more room in here now, so that's gonna be great. And we're gonna get these broilers down to the pasture. We should have somewhere between 90 and 100. And it's warm out today. It is raining, which I hate to put them out when it's raining. I always want a nice sunny day. Everything's dry and perfect, but unfortunately, we've got farmer's market in the morning. I've got to work a 24-hour shift this weekend, and it's one of those things that if it doesn't get done now, it's not getting done. And they're already almost a week past due of coming out of here. Again, when you part-time farm, you have another job, you have other obligations, and don't be ashamed. You just got to do stuff when you can get to it. It's not a big deal. These birds will be just fine. It's nice and warm out here. I think as long as we're being good animal caregivers and doing good animal husbandry, if they're out a little late, it's okay. What we want to make sure is that we're not neglecting, that they're not running out of food, water, things like that. Let's get these birds down to pasture. We'll show you the chicken tractors we use and their setup down there.
Up, tilt, up, tilt, up.
Always involve your kids if you can. We follow a rule of inspire, not require, meaning we don't make them do farm work, but we try to inspire them to want to do farm work. I feel that if I make them do farm work, they're probably going to hate the farm when they grow up. So again, inspire, don't require. All right, so we've got them all loaded in crates. Let's get these guys down to their new home. All right, we just had to make a pit stop to get these birds some feed. We've already got their waters. Everything was set up because we just took 100 birds to the processor 4 days ago. So those guys are gone, that 100. We've got this 100 going in. And I want to talk a little sec. Can you make money doing these birds? First, let's talk about expenses. I'm just going to give you numbers off the top of my head. I haven't looked at my books. We did our books. I just haven't went over them very good this year. As far as the money we put into these birds, I think we paid about $1.93 per bird. So let's just say $2 rounded off. For feeding these birds out from start to finish is about $4.37 per bird per the last time I was really keeping track of the calculations. So $4.37 per bird, $1.93 for the bird. We're $6.35, I believe, into it already. That's our cost so far. Now we've got processing. If you're processing off farm, it will save you a lot of money, but it's not going to be free. You need to buy ice. If you're hiring labor, you need to count yourself as labor. You've got all the equipment. You've got vacuum sealers. You've got pluckers. You've got disposable things like the packaging they need to go in. You've got labels. So that stuff does cost as well. When we've done on-farm processing, it's costed us around $3.50 a bird. We are taking these birds to a USDA processor, frankly, because we've just been so overwhelmed this spring. You probably noticed on the back of my tractor, I have a big blade, and that's because we're making hay right now, and that just takes days and days, I feel like. It's my first time doing it this year, but it takes some time. We're gonna have a video on that as well, whether it's worth buying hay or making hay. But back to the birds, our processor charges $6.50 a bird. That's a whole bird. So if we're just getting whole birds processed, well, then we were about $4.35 plus $6.50. That's right at $11 per bird that I am into it already. You really need to calculate your diesel, gas, taking the animals to, and your time for that too. So all in all, we're about between $13 and probably $14, somewhere in there per bird, our cost. So if you wonder why you see people selling pasture poultry for $4.95 a pound, that's why. A 4.5 pound bird, you're going to make around $20 on that, $25, and you're already $14 into it, so that's a $10 profit on the bird. And really, I haven't included the labor of moving the tractors every day. So it's hard to make money on these birds. Now, when you get up to scale, it gets easier because your labor drops down, especially if you can get these all in one big thing. I have a video coming out on that. We've already done part 1 to our mobile range coop. We're building 2 big range coops so that we can make this easier and do more at scale, but yet less work on our backs and to do it faster. That's where we're at in cost, around, let's just say $14 to be conservative. And that's something you need to think about when you're raising these birds, is your time, the money you're putting into it, is all that worth it? Are you gonna get that return that you want, or are you gonna be working yourself to death for pennies? I think raising these birds is worth it. It is a lot of labor, and I don't think it's something I'll be able to do into my older years, but 1, they taste amazing.
You can say that again.
2, we'll get into pricing here shortly, but you can charge a premium price for these because they're a premium product. And 3, it's just great for the land and the soil. Their manure is some of the best fertilizer you can get, so that's why we move them around down on our hay pastures and cattle pastures to help make those pastures better, to then in turn provide more food for the cattle. So that's a little bit about cost. Let's get these birds into their home. You got that one?
Bucket.
All right, so birds are behind us. They are in their houses. They'll be here for about 4.5 to 5 weeks. And this is it. We pull them forward every day, move them on pasture, give them a new clean area. They fertilize in the process, and we grow out some amazing birds. Now that they're done, we talked about expenses a few minutes ago. Now we need to talk about the income. So I did mention it briefly, but we charge $5.45 a pound for our birds. Figure a 5-pound bird is going to come in somewhere around $28, $29. That might sound like a lot, but when you think that you have $13, $14 into the bird, that means we're making roughly a $10 to $15 profit on each bird. Marketing these birds can be difficult these days. Part of the reason is that there are big box stores where you can go buy a $5 bird already cooked and ready to go. The thing about those birds is that the company that raises those birds actually, at least in 2022, lost $43 million on those birds. So they are raising those birds at a loss of millions of dollars. Obviously, as a farm, I'm not trying to lose money. They do it because they make up for that with other margins on the other end, and it gets people in. Again, we have to charge what we put into it. The cost of it, the labor of it, it's a lot of work. This ain't rain, this is sweat. So you gotta charge what you gotta charge. Don't be ashamed of that. I mentioned that in the last video. We're raising a premium product. The customers can see where it's raised. They can ask the farmer, me directly, what's in it, and charge what you need to charge to be profitable. We do our cuts. We sell whole birds, and overall we run about a 35% margin on these birds, meaning a 35% profit on these birds. Now, you do have times when, for some reason, we've lost a lot to predators. We've had times baby birds were shipped in and a lot of them just died the first day from stress. So you do have times that things will affect that margin. How big your birds grow out. You may just have some batches that for whatever reason or another, you were getting 5.5 pounds and these guys barely make 4. That's poundage that you're losing that you can't sell. Different variables can change the whole scenario of the cost, of the price that you charge. But overall, like I said, we're about 35% margin. We make probably around $10 a bird, and that's where we're at. So I hope that helps you a little bit in deciding if this is something you want to try. We're gonna go get these cows moved, and there's one more thing I need to talk about concerning these birds before we conclude this video. So let's get these cows moved, because you can probably hear them in the background mooing. We got to set up 2 lines. We'll get these guys over, and then we'll have a little chat about what I think is the most important aspect of these birds. This is our little setup. Ben's driving, rope is right here, I'm hopping out, and then I've got a number of T-posts right here in the back seat, or step-in post. Makes it nice to not have to walk all the way across the pasture. So, if you got help, this is the way to do it. Cows are behind me, they're ready to move, so let's get them over to their new pasture. We've got a little line set up behind me that blocks this lane, and then in our pasture we've got basically 2 lines set up, one to keep them in, another one because you can see the white things up there where our meat birds are, so we got to keep them out of there. Alrighty, and that's it. They are in their new house. We shut the gate and they are happy as can be. All right, so the chickens are in their house. That was a good move. Everything went well with that. We got the cattle moved over to their pasture. All in all, that took about 3 hours. A little more than most days. Again, we're not just moving the chicken tractor like we normally would, filling food and water. You have to move the birds down there, set up fencing. It was just a lot today, so I think that happened in my last video. I have to say, during this week, it was actually pretty good. Now I am up in our barn. This is our upstairs. You can see freezers behind me. And we have market in the morning. We do a farmer's market every Saturday. So to make things easier, we'll go ahead and get all the frozen meat that we're gonna need packed. We have a separate freezer downstairs that's just for farmer's market stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen my video. You can link to it here, our inventory management video. That tells how we manage our inventory here on the farm. And I think it'll make it easier for you. So check it out. It's a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet. You click on it, just hit file, make a copy of it. That'll make you your own copy, and then you can edit it to do whatever you want with it. But it helps us in that we color code everything yellow and green. Everything that's in these freezers up here has been inventoried. So we've written down the cut, we've written down the number, and it's went in these freezers. From there, I look at the website, what we need, and say I have 10 steaks, I'll maybe put 4 of them up on the website. And then for market, I'll put maybe 3 or 4 down into the market cooler. That way I'm not double posting stuff. That can be a real headache when you've got the same thing posted and you're taking it to the market and you got it posted on the website and then it sells on the website. And then your wife gets back from market and says, oh, I sold that at market. It gets crazy. With that spreadsheet, everything that goes into that market freezer downstairs gets highlighted yellow, and everything that's on the website gets highlighted green. And that also gives me a way, like I'm doing now, I need to pack for market, so I can take a real quick glance at that sheet. I can look at the yellow and see, oh, okay, this is out, I need this, and it's a very quick way to know what I need for market, so that 1, I'm not taking a bunch of extra stuff. 2, that I'm not forgetting anything, because that's the worst feeling when you're at the market and someone wants that 3-pound rump roast that you just didn't buy because you forgot to pack or you didn't know that you didn't have. All right, so let's get some of this meat packed up real quick. And after this, I've got some cutting to do, but we're not gonna show that in the video. We're gonna talk about the last part of raising pastured poultry that I think is the most important when you're coming to the decision whether you're gonna raise these birds or not, okay? This is the notebook that we use. Essentially, I look at the spreadsheet, I see what's missing and what's not on there, and then that tells me what I need, obviously, and then as I take them out of the freezer, I write down, just on the notebook, the things that I have taken out, the meat cut and the weight. And then that way, tonight, tomorrow night, next couple nights, whatever, after I get some stuff on this sheet, I'll sit down and I will take all of these, make them yellow, and then obviously what sells at the market, I will take off the spreadsheet, and that's how we keep up with it. So essentially we have a spreadsheet that has everything inventoried. Everything that comes out of these freezers gets written in this notebook, and what's sold at the market doesn't get written down, but I have a record of that in Square, which is the point of sale system that we use for the market. And then that is how we get everything off of the spreadsheet. And so it's a good way of keeping what's coming in as you inventory and what's going out as you sit down and take it from your notebook. And that's it. We've got most of our meat packed up here. We're gonna go put that down in the market freezer. That way early in the morning, we'll get up and unload that freezer into coolers, and everything's already bagged into certain bags. That way it makes it easy. The coolers are labeled and the bags have what's on the label. So it's easy just to put which bag goes in which cooler and get it loaded up. It's pretty hot up here in the barn, so let's head downstairs where it's a little cooler and conclude this video with what I think is the most important factor when deciding if you're gonna raise pastured poultry. Man, what a day. I just got done packing the meat and we were gonna talk about this, and went to load up the truck, and the back was a total mess from where we took chickens Monday night to the processor. So I had to pull out the pressure washer, scrubber, all that stuff, and I was gonna film it, but it was just too hot and just had to get it done. So that is done, and this is a nice part of the day where I know all the chores are done. Actually, I still need to cut this weed field behind me, but tractor time I'm okay with. And now I wanted to get to what I think is the most important part of whether you're gonna raise broilers or not, is the labor. It's a lot, and it's easy to do numbers on paper. It's easy for me to give you numbers, income, expense, and make you think that it's easy, but it is a lot of work. It is dirty work. It is heavy work. You're hauling 50-pound bags. You're moving these chicken tractors very far distances over time. You were putting up in fences, taking down fences, and it's something that you really need to factor into your decision if you're going to do this or not. Again, we do it because one, we do make decent money with it. Two, it's a big product for us. We've got a pretty good following for our pastured poultry. And it's just one of those things for us right now, it fits. It's not to say it will as we get older and moving these tractors around. But you can see our video that we did a couple weeks ago. We have actually built the bases of some mobile sleds that instead of housing 25 birds, these will house 200 each. My goal here is, and it's the second part of what I want to talk about, is efficiency. One is the labor. It's a lot of labor to do this, but if you can do it efficiently, then you can really make it work and it can be very profitable. Now we're working where it's 25 birds per tractor and we're moving 4 tractors. This will give us the ability to put 200 birds in one tractor and move it with machinery. Making basically what would take to move 8 houses, we can do that all at one shot. And with machinery, so it's less work on us. So that's part of just getting more efficient. And if you can do this on your farm, not necessarily build sleds or anything, but just, you know, shave a minute off of how long it takes you to do water. If that means pre-setting up some waters, maybe filling more buckets at one time, shave a couple minutes on how long it takes you to feed animals. And that's whether you get bigger buckets, buying totes and scooping out of there, pre-setting up stuff. They're just seconds, they're just small amounts of time off of these tasks, but when you do this to 20 tasks, well, if you shave a minute off of each, that's 20 minutes a day you've gotten back. And in 1 week, that's 2 hours and 20 minutes that you have saved by just being a little more efficient at each task. So if you do decide to take this on, look at how efficient you're being at what you're doing. And look at this with all of your operations, cattle, pigs. That's probably part of the reason you're watching some of these videos, is to try to learn how to get better at what, try to see different ways of what you're doing. Efficiency can really make a big difference. I think it's one of the ways that you see, you know, the Joel Salatins and the Greg Judys and the stuff they do, how they can do so much. They have the same amount of time as you and I do, but they can get so much more done, and that's because they've learned to leverage their time. They've learned to get efficient with their time, and we can do the same thing. So that's the main thing. Decide the labor. Again, it will take a toll on your lifestyle. You will be tired, you'll be hot, you'll be sweaty. And it takes time away from, you could be with your family, it takes time away from other farm enterprises. Again, if you're starting a farm part-time and you're doing broilers, that's time that you don't have to do pigs or cattle. Not that you're not doing those things, but it's time taking away that you could be spending more time doing those things, especially if those things are more profitable for you. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll have some on the sleds next week. We have just been so overwhelmed with the spring things that come on, and right now it's hay season, so we're cutting hay, and you know, these things just take precedent. But I have got those turkeys that you saw in the beginning. They have to be out of that brooder in about 3 weeks. I got to get my butt in gear. So we'll have part 2 of the mobile range coop out here in the next couple weeks. And comment below, take it a day at a time, and we'll catch you in the next one.